Go.
This is a presentation of a step 1, 2 and 3, the way I've done it, the way I'm going to interpret it, and I'm just going to go through it as it is in the book, and I'm going to give you examples on the PowerPoints what are in the book. So we'll start with step 1, yeah, which is the problem. This shows me I've got a fucking problem. Sorry for swearing. Disease of addiction. How do I know I've got the disease of addiction? You know, so an example for me is I can go to shop, say to the missus, I'm going to shop for 4 cans, get to a shop, buy 12 cans. I only live 5 minutes from shopping in motor. I'll suck 4 before I get home, I'll leave 4 in my van, and I'll go in house with 4. So when I'm going doorstep for a fag, cans like that, I'll just go to my van, swap it for a full one. So she thinks I've only had 4 cans, do you know what I mean? That clearly shows me that I've got the disease of addiction, because normal people don't do that, do they? You know, they go and have 4 cans and that's it. I can't do that. I'm fucking drinking up way down and up way back, and then I'm thinking, how can I go and get more and more? You know, and obviously with crack and smack and stuff, I grew up taking crack and smack for the last 10 or 15 years, you know, but this is my most recent thing, beers, because I've been through this treatment centre before, got out for a few years, thought I could drink, I couldn't drink. So that clearly shows that I suffer with this stuff. You know, I've been in denial always from a young age. I'm better than you. I only sniff coke, I don't take crack and smack, you know. So I was in denial from a young age, thinking I was better than the next person. You know, but clearly I weren't. I suffered with this from like being a kid shoplifting in fucking Woolworths and stuff like that. That's where it all stems from, doesn't it? Being so young age, in denial, bad behaviours, and it's just all the way throughout life. And I've ended up here today from that stuff. You know, and obviously we're suffering with this, denying things, isolating. I've sat in people's bedrooms for 3 months, having money in my daughter's account, just throwing money out of that account, straight to that bedroom, dealer dropped off on drive, not left that room for over 3 months. Do you know what I mean? Scruffy beard, 9 stone, piss wet through, a mess, just isolating, taking drugs, injecting, in groin, legs, arms, you name it. There's probably not I ain't done. And I'm powerless over this stuff. You know, which I didn't know at first. Powerless, you know what I mean? You fucking hell. Try and tell a man you're powerless. You know, weren't having it. You know, until I come into treatment, realised, learnt a bit about this. Obviously, seed got planted last time. Meetings, doing a bit of rehab, stuff like that. But like again, once I start, I can't stop. First one in, that's it, I'm all in. Game over again. I'm just going to put that one in and pick up exactly where I left off. Do you know what I mean? Forget about what I've ate in gym and trained and everything else, because that's going in fucking 4 weeks. Do you know what I mean? And then we get to unmanageability. You know, mental states, like isolating in bedrooms. Just sat there watching fucking shit on TV. What I've watched last night and night before and stuff like that. Mentally fucked, spiritually fucked. Do you know what I mean? But just just zoned into a TV, only thinking about digging. You know, stuff like that. So mentally fucked, physically fucked. Cellulitis in both legs, DVT in this leg. You know, no veins. Lack of weight loss, scruffy beard, scruffy clothes, stinking of fucking, not showering for weeks on end, and you know, that's unmanageability. Reservations, kind of like, because I've been through treatment before, and my last time I was in, I thought I could go out and drink and still go to festivals and take pills. I never had a problem with that. It weren't my problem. You know what I mean? So this time, I know I've been out and tried and failed with both. Had pills at festivals, not gone well, let me tell you. And then I thought, obviously, I could have a few beers, because I never suffered with fucking having a few beers. Obviously, I couldn't, because 4 beers, and then it was twice a night, fucking every night, 7 nights a week. You know, which led to me losing my missus, driving off, pissed out my head. You know, and the spiritual principles I can base around all this is, I've got to be honest, not only to you lot, but to myself. Because if I don't put honesty in, I'm going to get knocked out. I did it last time, I skated from 1 to 5, people pleasing, and it didn't get me anywhere. It was just like a textbook exercise, and that's all I did. Yeah, you can hear that, you can hear that, you can hear that, you can hear that. Not being honest, you know, or open-minded to like church stuff. Fucking going to no church unless there's a charity box to pinch. You know, stuff like that. And this time I'm willing, chucking my hands into anything, helping lads out. I'm always here to help out, volunteering, gym, kitchen. you know, and showing humility and acceptance. Straight away I've accepted everything and I've surrendered. I've come into this place, straight away, there. Do you know what I mean? So all this shows me I'm fucked. I've got a problem. Do you know what I mean? So that's step one. So then, obviously for new lads, you do your first 25, read it out, and then you do your second 44, just to make sure you're on the right page. And when you've done that, then you move on to step 2, which is solution. Yeah? We came to believe a power greater could restore us to sanity, i.e. peers, you lot, step work, this lot, staff, meetings which I go to, not 7 nights a week because I do attend church groups, and church, you know, I was never willing to do this before. Meetings were just a fucking graft before, I hated it. Staff, resentful, kind of, you know, a few of them pinching my aerial and fucking TVs and cups and that. You know, but this time I'm all in. I have to be all in. You know, I've got to be honest, I've just got to put it all in to get it all out. Because if I don't, I'm fucked on. You know what I mean? What's the point? You know? So in step 2, hope. What have I got hope for the future? I've got hope to get all my family back, which are coming back. You know, I've got my kids, I've got my missus. I've got friends coming back who aren't in addiction, who I've known from years and years ago, stuff like that. And I have hope that to complete the full 12-step programme here in Elisha House. Whereas last time, I left on a step 6, thinking, oh, crack on, I'll do it with a sponsor outside. I went on wardrobe and fucking, I got it fetched here 10 weeks ago. It sat there for 2.5 years. You know what I mean? Dust all over it. So yeah, I've got hope for these. And to do